Hey, it's Spence from launchflows.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a donation offer page and checkout page using Gutenberg blocks, as I've already shown you how to do this with Elementor. The nice thing is we have a free pattern library at patterns.launchflows.com. Here you can simply copy and paste and add it to your own WordPress site using Gutenberg blocks. On occasion, there may be some free add-on plugins that are required to make it work, but in this case, these are made with all the native blocks of Gutenberg. Let's start out with the donation offer page. If you'd like to see this in action, there's a working demo. So the first thing you can do is let's refresh the page and then click over on the icon to see it in action, and then I'll show you how to copy it to your site. Here we've set up some basic components using, first of all, one free product. In this case, it's a simple WooCommerce product where I've also enabled the downloads and the virtual so that even without an additional plugin, the choices of the buyer will be immediately turned into a checkout when they complete the order. We've set it up like we did in the previous example with Elementor, so somebody can choose from an array of buttons or other clickable elements for a predefined amount, but then they can also use our LaunchFlows donation Pay Me Now component in order to put in a custom amount. We've also given them a way to return to modify their choices. So let's try it out. I'm going to donate $50 by clicking on the $50 link, and it takes me to the specially configured checkout for this donation, where I've also included a default multi-tab checkout process. This allows us to feature the attention on the items that we want the buyer to see before moving to the next step. This allows us to see that there's a donation product here. Now, if I wanted to, as the buyer or donating party, I can click to modify and change that to $75. And each time I have the chance, if I want to change it and review it, or as I mentioned, I can say $115.12. Clicking to update will do the same thing, except now you'll notice that the amount being donated is specifically that amount. Next, I can go to billing, where I can add in the information about myself. And notice, like with many of our checkouts, we've customized this using the free checkout editor plugin to only show those fields that are relevant for a digital download or a digital payment. And finally, when I'm ready to pay, whatever the gateway is that you're using with WooCommerce will be available. Typically that'll be Stripe or PayPal or some other custom gateway, but for this demo, we've just turned on cash with delivery so somebody can see what happens. You'll also notice that I've set up the Donate Now in the custom post so that it says something other than complete your purchase. Now, when I click on this, this will complete the transaction and take me to one of my predefined custom thank you pages. You can also redirect to any custom location you want with LaunchFlows. Now, the nice thing about this in general is that both of these components, the checkout page as well as the original donation, are both set up with Gutenberg blocks, and you can copy and paste these to your site instantly just by clicking on the copy pattern code. And if you've not seen this before, when you do so, you can create a new post or a page, and it will immediately deliver all of the contents ready for you to modify to your tastes and to also change the product ID number for your site. This is one of the things that really makes Gutenberg hard to compete with, even against Elementor. Notice that the product ID here is 642. You're going to want to make sure before you use this to change it to the ID of your product. Similarly, let's talk about how to set up the product. In the back end here of our demo site, I've created one product in WooCommerce. It's a free product, and it has a $0 amount, and it's also configured for the proper pages for when it's purchased. So here is the product I created. And you can put in any of the other configuration items you want and even customize the product in the event that you want people to read more about it. For example, maybe you want to make this into an informational page that then takes somebody to the custom donation. Here it's important, in order for the donation to work with the component, the Donate Now Any Price, make sure that the price is set to 0. Next, you go to LaunchFlows and you tell it, where do you want somebody to be taken after they've chosen to add the product to the cart? And notice that I've chosen that donation checkout page, the second step. You can also say where you want somebody to go after the checkout is done. And in this case, I just chose one of my custom thank you pages that I use across a couple of other checkouts. Finally, I've made sure that this product is a solo checkout. That's because it would be very confusing to people if they found out that they had a donation product in the checkout at the same time as something else from your shop. If that's your intention, you can still make it work without that, but I caution you to probably do this as a separate checkout because that's just been shown to be less confusing. And then finally, instant clean sales page. In the event that you did want to show this product page, it would help to clean up any of the other WooCommerce related product or things like bookmarks and so forth. So it's nice to use this in general whenever you're customizing with launch flows. That's basically it. Once you've configured the product for 0, you can also choose virtual and downloadable, like I mentioned, to make sure that the transaction's completed. If you're interested in using this new pattern or both of these patterns, just drop on by to patterns.launchflows.com. This is Spence. I'll see you on the next video.